Bravo, KD2TFB, welcome to another open mic night. I've been asked to move my usual weekly feature of Celebrity Call Sign of the Week from the TechNet to this net. So let's go along with it. Primary source of information for this episode was IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, with additional information from the English language Wikipedia. Gordy was born February 12th, 1914 in Fort Worth, Texas. He started playing saxophone when he was 9, going from soprano to alto to tenor saxophones and staying with the latter. His first professional work was with the band leader Ben Young in 1935, but when he joined the Glenn Miller Orchestra in 1938, his career hit its stride, playing on such hits as In the Mood, String of Pearls, Chattanooga Choo Choo, I Got a Girl in Kalamazoo, and Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, and he was a key member of the saxophone section in his 4 years with the band. Our celebrity never actually was a member of Miller's final Army Air Force band, which was based in England prior to the band leader's still mysterious death when his aircraft disappeared over the English Channel while on a flight to France in 1944. I don't want to time out the repeaters, so I'm going to drop it for a bit. Instead of toured in the USA with the Modern Airs, the vocal group formerly associated with the Miller Band, then led a Navy band in Oklahoma. Glenn Miller's widow approached Gordy to lead a reformed version of the posthumous Glenn Miller Orchestra in 1946. The band was an immediate success, touring intensively to wild, enthusiastic audience responses and racking up a sequence of hit records, all in the classic Miller mold. He led the band until 1950, but eventually rebelled against the strict managerial insistence on playing Miller's music exactly as the trombonist conceived it, and broke his relationship with the estate to form his own band. Well, in case you didn't know, Gordon was just our celebrity's birth name. Like many in show business, most people know him by the nickname that Glenn gave him, Texas, or Tex for short, Mr. Tex Beneke. Tex was an active amateur radio operator until his death. One of his early call signs was Whiskey 2 Charlie Kilo Delta, or W2CKD. His wife, Marjorie, was also licensed as Whiskey 2 Echo Hotel Romeo, or W2EHR. In the late 1950s, he moved to St. Louis, Missouri. His call was changed to Kilo Zero Hotel Whiskey Yankee, or K0HWY, kind of like K0 Highway. He held that call sign until his death on May 30th, 2000. I'm going to drop it once again. And this open mic night question is, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies? I would say, no, I don't do so much of that. And for the next segment, I'll have to turn it over to... Let's turn it over to Norm. KD2TFB is now clear.
Very much, Joe. Very interesting. Very interesting way to start the night. So, good everyone. This is Norm, NY1US. Welcome to the 23rd Open Mic Night. If you'd like to follow along with us, visit bit.ly/ECRlogs. Open Mic Night tonight. Your Open Mic Night tab. Tonight we have Jason K4KU as our host. Mark KE2EDS will be logging for us. And net control handled by Norm, myself, NY1 Flash, and John, KK4JJK. Very good. We're going to start tonight with mobile check-ins, and then we'll move on to our general check-ins. So if there's any mobile stations you would like to check into the net this time, please call my line. Mobiles or portables you would like to check in, please give your call twice as slowly, please.
Kilo 2, Sierra, Bravo, Mike. Kilo 2, Sierra, Bravo, Mike. Sean in Greensboro, North Carolina.
KR4 EMM, KR4 EMM, in and out. This is Vince, Fort Lauderdale.
Howard Beach, New York. K2SBM, Sean in Greensboro, North Carolina. And KR4 EMM, Vince from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And today, are there any general check-ins you'd like, general folks who would like to try the net? Please give me a call twice or slowly, please.
Good evening. Whiskey Oscar 7 X-ray. Whiskey Oscar 7 X-ray, name's Joe from Portland, Oregon.
KR4VGL, KR4VGL, Lawrence down in Cary, North Carolina.
Very good. Well, good evening to Joe WO7X from Portland, Oregon, and Lawrence KR4VGL from Cary, North Carolina. Very good. So what I'll do is I'll start at the top of the list with KQAU Bob, and the question for tonight is, do you monitor your local emergency frequency?
Good evening, Norm, and the rest of the net. I should actually, the Aries frequency, they usually have it on. They usually have it on all day, but I didn't have it on today. But it's local to DG Energy repeater, and I pretty much have that on most of the time. Have a great night. KQ8U back net.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Bob. And you have a good night too, and good week. And to OFM, Brian. I see you're new to the ECR, so I believe you'll be, if you have your email good on QRZ, you will be receiving a letter from us and detailing what happens with ECR. So, Brian, excuse me. The question for tonight is, do you monitor your local emergency frequency? OFM, still with us. We'll move right along to K2SBM. Sean, could you monitor your local emergency frequency?
Good evening, K2SBM, Sean in Greensboro, North Carolina. I think I do. In Greensboro, there's I guess the frequency that will be used for Oxcom stuff is the local W4GSO repeater. So I guess that's my local emergency. I'm not sure. I do also monitor 46.52. So I'll leave it at that. Maybe someone can. Appreciate you taking my check-in. K2 SBM from Greensboro, North Carolina. Sean.
Very good, Sean, and those qualify, so I would say your answer would be yes. We monitor frequency. So thank you for checking in. Have a good week. KR4EMM, Vince in Fort Lauderdale, good evening, and do you monitor your local emergency frequency?
Good evening, everyone on Open Mic. No, I do not. I really don't know the frequencies. I'm kind of new to ham radio. Not sure, so I guess I should look it up, and that's what I'll probably do tomorrow. I do monitor the marine forecast. I don't know if that's considered an emergency frequency, but I do monitor that. This is KR4EMM, back to that.
Thanks a lot, Vince, and that does qualify, I believe, to answer the yes as far as I'm concerned. So you have a good night. Thanks for checking in. We'll hope to hear you again next Wednesday. W07X Joe in Portland, Oregon. Good evening to you, and monitor your local emergency frequency.
Yeah, I just moved from Portland up to southwest Washington, in a kind of a smaller town up there. So the closest quote-unquote big city is Woodland, Washington. So I monitor the Clark County Sheriff and Clark County Fire Dispatch through them, and then the only other like Aries or Races, I guess that's not true. The one right across the lake from me, the Bigfoot Radio Club repeater, they have Aries and Races on there. They have a 24/7 monitor, and then they have auto patch too. So I tend to keep it on that one. So I guess that's the one that I monitor. Back.
Yeah, very good. So thank you very much for your comment, and we appreciate that. And you have a good week. And KR4 BGO Lawrence from Cary, North Carolina. Good evening to you, and you monitor your local emergency frequency.
Yes, I actually do. I do monitor or try to our fire team, poultry down here in Wade County, everything on 800 megahertz. So haven't had much luck on listening to really anything down here, but I do, and I am a big fan of looking for more emergency services to listen to. So yes.
Very good, Lawrence, and thank you for checking in tonight, and thanks for your answer. We do appreciate it. You have a good week. KQ4GLY, Chris, good evening to you, and do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Good evening, Norm, everybody on the net. Yes, I monitor our local emergency frequency, especially if a hurricane is threatening my area. Back to you, KQ4GLY.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate you checking in and calling and giving us your answer. Very good. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of the week. K7FPS, Fred in Reno, Nevada. Good evening to you, and do you monitor your local emergency frequency?
Well, hello, and hello to all in that. Our local Aries organization has 20 different TAC channels. They listen to the primary repeater for traffic, but certainly not full-time. I don't know whether that qualifies as a yes answer. I'll listen on the repeater, and they'll say switch to TAC 20 or TAC 10, and I know where that is. Anyway, I'll let you decide. K7 FPS, thank you for running the net. Back to you.
Yeah, very good, Fred. K7 FPS from NY1US. Very good, and I will let the crew decide if it's a yes or a no, but I'm thinking it's probably a yes. So. But anyway, you take care and have a good rest of your week, and check in again next week. We appreciate that. W2RBC, Randy, good evening to you, and you mind please listen to frequency.
Good evening, Norm, Mark, Jason, and everyone on the Open Mic Net. The only local emergency frequencies that I do monitor are Coast Guard Group and Coast Guard Station Buffalo. Back to Net Control, 73 to all, W2RBC.
Yeah, very good, Randy. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate it, and have a good. I'm going to go into some announcements right now. Thursday, we have a 20-meter net. We have 14.17 plus or minus at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on Thursday. And Friday night, we have a youth net at 8 p.m., and we're trying to get more third-party youth traffic. So that would be a great thing to do. Saturday at 9 a.m., we have 40-meter net at 7.245. And Saturday night, we have a trivia net at 11 p.m. And that would be on the East Coast Reflector. So, very good. We hope you can join us for some of those activities. And I'm going to take some general check-ins. Anyone who would like to check in and answer the question, please give your call twice and slowly.
N2BH, N2BH. KD2, VNU. KD2, VNU.
KO4CLD, KO4CLD.
N2BNM. David and Boo.
Kilo 9 Tango Juliet Sierra, K9TJS,
K04FRR.
For 1 November Yankee Sierra for G1 NYM, coordinate.
Good, very good this afternoon, and we have 4G1 NYS. Good evening to you, and there's one call we have a question about, and not quite sure the name of whoever it was, and from Cleveland, Texas. Could you repeat the call for us? Good, so we'll go on, and we have K04FRR. Joe, good evening to you. K2BMM. And I don't know, did we get the call right on that? K2BMM? Is that the right call?
Your November 2, Victor, November, I believe.
November 2, Victor, November, and what was the last?
Mike. M. Mike.
Very good, dude. Thank you very much. And to VNM, welcome to that. We also have KO4CLD, Micah, from Tuscumbia, Alabama. And we have KV2VNU, Derby Dan. Good evening to you. And N2BH, Bill, good evening to you as well. So, glad that you can all check in. And start with you, Bill, N2BH. You monitor your local emergency frequencies? I bet you do.
Good evening, Norm, Vicky, everybody. Sounding good? Oh yes, I monitor most all of even the surrounding counties. Have a good night, and to BH.
Yeah, very good, very good. Thanks, Bill, and take care and have a good evening and a good week. KV2VNU, Derby Dan, good evening to you, and your local emergency frequency.
Good evening. Yes, KG2VNU. I monitor all platforms that I have the ability to monitor, unless they're encrypted, and multiple counties as well, like Bill has. KG2VNU, turn it back to the net.
Thanks. Good evening, and have a good week. KO4CLD, Micah. Good evening to you, and you'll monitor your local emergency frequency.
KO4CLD here. Yes, I do. Dan's got a little better setup than I do, because I went with handhelds, and I know he's got some desktop stuff, but that's actually what got me into ham radio. Because I eventually run across ham bands. So, but yes, the question. KO4CLD, back to net.
Very good, Micah. KO4CLD and from NY1US. Very good. And, it's kind of how I got into amateur radio too. My dad worked at a fire station, and once a week they would have to do their roll call, and he would take me in, and he'd be running the radio there, and I thought that was pretty cool. So got me started in the bug for amateur radio. So very good. You take care and have a good night and a good week. And to VNM, Dave, to you, and you monitor your local emergency frequencies.
Yes, I do. I work in the LE business, so I also listen a little bit in the summer for Marina and the railroad a little bit, because I'm only a mile from the tracks. We have main tracks out of Montreal that come down through here a few times a day. So I listen from Whiteface Mountain in New York, which is an emergency repeater and stuff like that, along with local dispatches and everything. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit into everything. So with that, we'll turn it back to net control. Everybody have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. Good evening. Have a good rest of the week. KO4FRR, Joe, good evening. And you monitor your local emergency frequency.
Well, good evening, Norman, and hopefully this is Joe, KO4FR. Hopefully everybody's having a good evening. To answer the question, to monitor our club is part of Aries, so, and we do get notifications through text, email, phone to alert us to jump onto our Aries repeater. So that's pretty much it, because our county's part of our club's part of the county too, so we're all hooked up through the county. So if you want to say yes or no, I don't know how you want to respond to that one. Have a good night. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, very good, Joe. KOFRR. Hello. KO4FRR. Have a good night, and thanks for checking in. And that's probably maybe no, or maybe very good. So next on the list is Stephen, 4G1 NYS. Good evening to you, and manager your local emergency frequency.
Thank you, Norm. November Yankee 1 Uniform Ship. This is 4 Golf 1 Yankee Sierra. My name is Steven from here in the Philippines. It's Thursday morning in here, 26 minutes after 8 in the morning. My answer to your question is yes. I do monitor our emergency frequencies on 2 meters. And sometimes when our club is going together to occasions, we also monitor the 40-meter band, the shortwave one. Especially during the past week that we had some major earthquakes in various regional areas, as well as the passing of typhoons. We're practically all ears on them. 73 to everybody on the East Coast Reflector, 4Q1NYS, sending it back to control.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stephen, and you have a good night and a good week. Give us a shout next Wednesday for sure. K4KU, Jason, good evening to you. You monitor your local emergency frequency.
Hey, good evening, Norm and Mark and everybody on the net tonight. Mark especially, thanks for holding down the fort and for logging. And Norm, yes, I do monitor the frequencies locally, usually whenever there's an Aries activation, because my club is part of Aries. And with that, that's K4KU back to net control.
Thanks a lot, and you take care and have a good night. So have a couple of announcements here. A reminder to avoid the pileups, you can text your call in to 716-317-9050. And we have a new feature also. You can email your call sign to text, TEXT, at ecr.radio. You can check into the net that way, and also, of course, checking in, as we're going to do right now, call for some general check-ins. So anyone that would like to join the net, please give your call sign twice and slowly.
Bravo Sierra 2, Charlie Victor Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra.
Whiskey Bravo 5 India Tango Tango. WB5 ITT, short time in and out.
Kilo 2, Charlie Mike Tango. Kilo 2, Charlie Mike Tango.
2E0 LRV. That's 2 Echo 0 Lima Radio Victor.
Very good. Thanks for checking in, guys. We have 2E0 LRV left from Redditch, Worcestershire. K2CMT, Mike from DeBerry, Florida. WV5ITT, Beaumont, Texas. And VA3YBS, that's Bill in Dundalk, Ontario, Canada. So, Chris, since you're short time, we're going to take you first, and question is, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies? WV5ITT, are you still with us? So we'll go to VA3YBS, Bill in Dunville, Ontario. Good evening to you, and you'll monitor your emergency frequencies.
Good evening, Norm, and thanks for doing the net tonight. Yes, I do. I monitor the local fire department frequencies. I believe the police frequencies here are encrypted, but I do monitor the fire, and I just heard a call on there about 10 minutes ago. So the answer is yes. This is VA3YBS. Back to you.
Good. Well, thanks a lot, Bill, and thanks for checking in. And take care and have a good week. K2CMT, Mike in DeBerry, Florida. Good evening to you. And do you monitor the local frequencies, emergency frequencies?
I'm afraid I'm going to be the exception to the rule tonight. I'm a no. Don't pay a whole lot of attention. I do watch the evening news and stay abreast of the things going on that way, but I don't use ham radio for that purpose. This is K2CMT, back to net control.
Very good, Mike, and thanks for checking in tonight. And would you repeat it? 2E0LRV, Les. Good evening to you. Do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Good evening, Norm, and everybody else on the net. We don't have emergency frequencies in the UK. I can't speak for the rest of Europe, but certainly in the UK we don't have anything like that. We tend to just monitor the calling frequency, and that's it. There is a group over here called RayNet, but they're basically doing radio comms for cycle races and marathons, that sort of thing. But most of the government and local government and emergency services all have hardened systems in place in the event of a national emergency. Although it is still written into our licence conditions that in the case of a national emergency that we are allowed to operate without restrictions under the auspices of government, local government, police, fire, army, whatever, for emergency purposes. But it's not something that is ever likely to happen. And I live in, as I say, as you said, North Worcestershire. I just call it the Shire. I live in the Shire. Right in the middle of the country, just south of the city of Birmingham. And I couldn't get farther away from the coast if I tried. So obviously there's no maritime stuff. There are severe weather warning at the moment. They go yellow, amber and red. We're under a yellow one for heavy rain and high winds tomorrow. But there is no procedure for radio. Radio clubs themselves will get organised if it's required, but it's not something that happens over here. So we certainly have nothing that's comparable to Aries like that over here. But you never know what happens in Europe. They're strange people over there. You know, they eat snails and frogs and all that thing over there. So yeah, there's no telling what they do with the radios. Anyway, back to net control. 2E0LRV. Les from the Shire. Back to you, Norm.
Very good, Les, and it's very interesting that you don't have emergency frequencies like that. So, very good. Well, thanks for checking in tonight, and we do appreciate that. And with that, my half hour is just about over, so we'll turn it on KK4 to JJK. Good evening, John, and good evening. Have fun with the net, and do you monitor your local frequencies, sir, John?
NY1US, this is KK4JJK. This is John, and yeah, thanks, Norm, for that first half hour there. Great job. By the way, what you're listening to right now is the Open Mic Net on the East Coast Reflector. My name is John. I've got the second half hour here of the Open Mic Net. Basically a forum here where they set up new people who never or don't have a lot of experience hosting nets before, and you get to get your feet wet here. So if you want to be like Norm and myself, you just drop into the eastcoastreflector.com and go to the Open Mic Net, click on that, and it'll give you all the information on where to sign up, and you can participate just like myself and Norm are doing right now. But to answer the question, I think Norm asked the question about emergency repeaters. The answer is yes, and growing up in the 70s, I had my father had a scanner, so that was like the coolest thing to like actually hear like the police calls and stuff like that. And I know a lot of us probably have the same experience there. But yes, I would definitely say I monitor the emergency frequencies. Anyway, we have one text check-in, November 2, Zulu Victor, November, and we're going to get to you in a second, Alan. We're going to call for general check-ins right now. If you want to join the Open Mic Net, please come with your call sign twice and slowly, please. General check-in is call sign twice and slowly.
FZL, KE2FZL. OF.
Well, this is a dry start here for my half an hour. I've got a couple calls here, and I'm going to help out the logger here on that call-in. It's KE2 Foxtrot Zulu Lima, KE2FZL, and the reason I know that is because that is my son, who's also John. So, anyway, we're going to go to the top of the list here. I've got a text check-in from Alan out in Kendall, New York. November 2, Zulu Victor, November, N2VZN. Alan, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Evening, John. Everyone on the net. Well, my answer to the question, as much as I would like to and want to, I have to be down in the shack in order to do it, so I cannot listen normally. Just in a RF challenged area, but if I could, I would. Even public safety is out of the question because even the fire department's encrypted. Nice job, guys. Thanks so much for running the net. And Tuesday at the end.
Okay, Alan. Yeah, thanks. I understand that. One of my favorite things to listen to when I'm on HUP is that Maritime Mobile Net. I think it's on 20 meters. It's like 14.3, 380 or 300. I don't remember, but 14 dot something on 20 meters, and it's they monitor that pretty much all day long for any maritime emergencies on mobiles. So that's pretty cool to listen to. And they're very welcoming people, so if you ever need like a radio check or anything like that, they're real nice people. They're all volunteers there, so you can look that up. But yeah, I get it. Anyway, next on the list is KE2FZL. John, here in the same house as I am in Buffalo, New York. John, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
I just recently joined my local fire department, and I will eventually be monitoring them soon as I have joined to be fire/EMS.
very good, John. Yeah, I know you got your little pager, and they give you a radio. I don't know what. I have to find out what frequency they're on. I'm sure it's encrypted as well. But anyway, next on the list is we have another tech check-in. By the way, I'd like to acknowledge KF8DRJ Doug out in Allen Park, Michigan. Doug, thanks for checking in. And next up on the list is our logger. He's pulling double duty here. Well, actually he was. Now Jason's back online. But Mark out in Elma, KE2EDS. Mark, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
As far as monitoring local frequency, yes. Actually, we have two scanners that we have on, one in our living room and then one in the bedroom. The one in the bedroom drives me absolutely crazy, but my wife, believe it or not, is the driver on that one. She loves it. This morning we had a call, 5:15, a car off the 400, and it's multiple calls. So, anyways, have a great evening. You guys are doing a great job. KE2EDS.
Yeah, Mark, thanks. Yeah, so it's kind of the opposite here. If I had a scanner in the house, my wife would go nuts because she's already giving me a hard time with regular radio noise in the background. So having a scanner on would not be a good thing here. But yeah, like I said before, growing up, I used to love I was glued to that scanner, and listening to the different calls, the different police departments and stuff that would come over the air. And good times. Anyway, next on the list is Doug out in Allen Park, Michigan, KF8DRJ. Doug, the question of the night, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Well, good evening, John. I was watching you in the Zoom room there, and I see you had a visitor and chased him away. I know how that goes. Anyway, good evening, John. Norm did a good job first half hour. Mark and Jason, everybody else in the Zoom room. To answer the question, I should, but I don't. I monitor a bunch of frequencies here during the day, and I don't know, just the thought of one more coming in might make my brain go crazy. So anyway, put me down for a no. Everybody have a good night. KF8DRJ, back to net.
Hey, Doug, yeah, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate that. And Doug checked in via the text line, and that text line, by the way, if you want to check into the net or any of our nets here on the East Coast Reflector, you can just text your call sign to 716-317-9050. That's 716-317-9050. And we'll get you on the list. And like I said, this applies to any of the nets that we hold, and it's especially helpful for the morning brew when there's a whole bunch of pileups, and you can get yourself on the list without having to squeeze yourself in there. Anyway, we're at the bottom of the list now, and I'm going to take some more general check-ins. So if you want to check into the open mic net, you can come with your call sign right now, twice as slowly. Open mic net, general call-ins, general call-ups. Please check in right now with your call sign.
OSU, not for Ohio State University, on Wisconsin.
Delta Charlie Whiskey India, KD6DWI. Ruben in San Diego, taking a hike. Good evening.
M6QDY.
hold it up there. I'd like to welcome and acknowledge KR4FLZ, Brandon, out in Winter Springs, Florida. KE2EHI, Joe from Westfield, New York, you're in and out. Thanks for checking in. N4OSU, Jerry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. KD6CWI, Ruben in Fallbrook, California. I'm going to take you first, so stand by. You're on a hike there, so hold on. We're going to get you on the top of the list here in a second. And N6QDY, David out in Sacramento, California. Thanks everybody for checking in. So Ruben, we're going to go to you, KD6CWI. The question of the night is, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Roger, this is KD6CWI, Ruben in Fallbrook. Thank you for doing the net, first of all, and good evening to everyone listening. It's a pleasure to be here. The local repeater that I monitor for emergency is the Fallbrook Amateur Radio Club. We're connected to Aries. Our president is adamant. He sends out emails and texts on any wildfires that's going into the area, and it's always an open discussion in the club in regards with emergency protocol. And we do have the San Diego WinLink Aries net that we have every every Friday, and we submit forms and practice submitting forms for emergencies. I think those are, and then we have DARN, Delta Alpha Romeo. That's another emergency frequency that's on repeater on selected San Diego counties. Those are the ones that I can think of. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you for participating. Stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy life, and God bless. 73 KD6CWI, hiking in the neighborhood.
All right, KD6CWI. Ruben, enjoy your time outside. Yeah, it sounds like a host of stuff you got going on there. You know, I was recently, in the summertime, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and for a few weeks, and I'll tell you what, their Aries and Races is no joke. Obviously in that area where they have so many weather events, and they've, it's really amazing. There was a statewide Aries net, and they go by county, and I don't know, there had to be over 100 check-ins into that net. It's just crazy how organized they are. They have to be, right? And that's what it's all about, is for the amateurs, radio operators to be prepared in case of emergency. So it was pretty cool to see. Up here in Buffalo, there's not really too much going on. But anyway, go back to the top of the list here, and we've got KR4FLZ, Brandon, out in Winter Springs, Florida. Brandon, what are you doing? Are you monitoring your local emergency frequencies?
Good afternoon, everyone on the net. No, I don't usually monitor. Everything here is, P25, phase, 2 or whatever it is. I have listened in on before. I have a, software-defined dongle on my laptop, and, I've listened in. But no, I don't really listen in. But yeah, funny thing is, what got me into radio, amateur radio, or over the airwaves radio was my grandmother had a scanner back in the 80s and 90s, and I would help her with the crystals to get the frequencies and to scan the local fire and police and stuff. So that got me really interested as a kid, and then when I got older, I got into amateur radio. But I guess I do check in on the SARnet here, the Florida SARnet. Everyone. Sorry, I timed out there. KR4FLZ, back to net control.
Yeah, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate that. And, yeah, like I said, boy, it's another one of those states where they've got so many, emergency frequencies because, again, they have to be ready for these weather events. And, in fact, I was just listening before we came on somebody mentioned the Coast Guard here up in Buffalo because we're on Lake Erie. And I just turned to their station, and we have a squall warning. Now, a snow squall warning. It's not that time of the year yet, but we do have a rain squall warning, some lake effect rain going on right now. Jerry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, N4OSU. Jerry, you're up next.
Hello, this is Jerry, N4OSU. No, I do not monitor it. All my monitoring is done over the cell phone. We get local alerts on the hour for hurricanes and other bad weather situations. This is the only thing we can do to monitor. There's too many stations, and everybody wants to do everything down here at once, and it doesn't work out. So have a fine one. Doing a fine job. This is N4OSU. We're down on your final, sir.
N4OSU, KK4, JJK. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Next up on the list, David out in Sacramento, California, N6QDY. David, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Hey, John. Good job. Norm, good job also. N6QDY. Hello to everyone on the net and everybody in the Zoom control room. Still at work here, up here at 7,600 feet. Working in a ball, getting it ready for getting the solar site ready for winter. Anyway, to answer your question, yes. I do that on a regular basis too. Because that's what I do for work. Anyway, keep up the good work. Thanks for doing what you do. This is N6QDY. Back to net control. Have a great evening.
Okay, David. Yeah, thanks. So I'm going to come back to you for a minute because I got a question for you. You mentioned something about getting prepared for winter, and I see you're in Sacramento, California, and I'm here in Buffalo. I know what I'm doing to get ready for winter. What are you guys doing out there to get ready for your winter, in quotes?
Well, for the type of work that I do, I'm over changing out some batteries that they're actually 2-year-old batteries, believe it or not, and they need to be changed out. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing here, just getting everything ready because this particular vault at 7,600 feet, we have a snow hatch that's up above me, and snow goes over 10 feet. We got to dig down after we come back with the snow catch. But anyway, so we're just trying to get all that set up and ready to go. And so that's what I'm doing for work.
Mic net. If you'd like to check in to the open mic net, please come now with your call sign twice and slowly, please.
Victor Kilo 3 Alpha Whiskey Alpha VK3AWA.
Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Bravo Mike. Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Bravo Mike.
Kilo Oscar 4, India Yankee Yankee, KO4, IYY.
In around.
Last station who was in and out, could you come back because you doubled with somebody?
This is Kilo Golf 8 Quebec Papa. Kilo Golf 8 Quebec Papa.
We're going to welcome and acknowledge VK3 AWA, Daryl out in Australia. Thanks for coming back and checking in tonight. We got KO4 FPM, Jose in St. Cloud, Florida, and KO4 IYY, Stephen, Orange City, Florida. We also had KG8QP, Jeff in Perrysburg, Ohio. I believe you were in and out, but I'll come back to you if you weren't. But we'll go to the top of the list now. Gil out in Orlando, K4GDS. Gil, question of the night is, do you monitor your emergency frequencies?
Sorry about that. Had a slight problem there. Yes, I do, especially StarNet here in Florida, especially during hurricanes. K4GDS after that.
KQ4, Uniform India Golf, Jacksonville.
I did hear you do monitor the frequencies there for the emergency stuff in Florida, so thanks for checking in. I'm not sure if we get this next call sign right. N0XRG, Ron from Baytown, Texas. Is that the correct call sign on the text line?
Yeah, I do monitor those local nets. It's my job. I'm an emergency manager. Been doing that for a long time. In September, moved into an advisor role, so maybe not as much as before, but now it's just kind of ingrained in me. So I do, right? And typically when something's going down, I'll roll over to it. But anyway, good question for the net. Thanks for being out there. November, Romeo Golf.
Hey, Ron, yeah, I got that, and thanks for what you do. Appreciate that. Next up on the list, VK3AWA, Daryl out in Paradise Beach. Earlier we had a gentleman on from England. He said he did not have any emergency frequencies. So I'm curious to know, Daryl, does Australia have an emergency network set up for cases of like weather or emergencies of that nature? VK3AWA, Daryl, you're up.
Good evening, John, and those listening. Yes, we do. Usually there's the normal services like police, fire brigade, and other such things, but nothing generally. I don't think we have the network that you guys have over there. And in answer to your question, no, I don't monitor anything here. I'm sort of remote from everything, and there's nothing here that I could listen to within radio range. We've been there, John, doing a good job, and good evening to everybody. VK3AWA, back to you, John.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. Next up on the list, we got Jose out in St. Cloud, Florida, KO4 FPM. Jose, you're up next.
Good morning, John, and everybody on the net tonight. This is KO4FBM, Jose. I'm transmitting from San Juan, Florida. For the question tonight, usually sitting, working around the garage, doing some any type of work in the garage, and I always got all my stations, all my radios on, just listening all day. If I'm traveling around town, working, I usually on East Coast Reflector, listening to conversations between, people and stuff like that. But I'm always listening to something. Back to you, and 73 to everyone.
All right, Jose. Well, you did have the right answer because you mentioned you're listening to the East Coast Reflector, and while you're not listening to the East Coast Reflector, you're monitoring your emergency frequency. So good job there, buddy. All right, Steve out in Orange City, Florida, KO4IYY. Steve, question of the night: do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Aside from East Coast Reflector, I listen to the answer is yes. I listen to StarNet, Florida Statewide, and Volusia County EMS and Fire.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Thanks for checking in tonight. Next up on the list, out in Perrysburg, Ohio, Jeff, KG8QP. KG8QP, Jeff, you're up next.
Well, good evening, John, and everybody else on the net. If I suddenly drop off my battery, it looks like it's suddenly getting low. The answer is yes. I do listen to the emergency frequencies. I spent about 35 years doing police fire stuff at take-home radio. It was kind of interesting because the wife was always screaming about the radio being loud, and then when I retired, I was retired for a week before I moved over to emergency management. She was always screaming, well, what's going on? I hear sirens. So kind of interesting. It worked out. With that, thanks for doing the net. Wish everybody a great night. Give us all Facebook back. Bye-bye.
Yeah, monitoring those scanners. Like I said, growing up in the 70s and early 80s, the scanners were a big thing. And then remember that show Emergency, right, with the station flare, the fire station call, and those guys jumping into the ambulance. That was cool. And we've come to the bottom of the list. AC4PR, Brian in Monticello, Kentucky. Brian, what's your answer to the question, which is, do you monitor your local emergency frequencies?
Good evening to everybody on the net tonight. I don't currently, at least in a way, but the fire chief lives behind me, so, and I know if I hear him fire up and take off, then I know something's going on, and then usually there's a lot of rednecks with scanners around, so the word may not always be timely, but it usually gets around pretty quick, so I've kind of got it in a manner, at least if it's bad enough. Anyway, hope everybody has a good evening. I'll turn it back to net control. It's AC4BR.
All right, Brian. Thanks for being there, and thanks for checking in tonight. This will be the final call for check-ins for the open mic net tonight. One last call for check-ins. If you want to join in and answer the question, come now with your call sign twice and slowly, please.
Mike 8, Kilo Hotel, India. Mike 8, Kilowatt, Honolulu, Indiana. Keith in Liverpool.
Delta Whiskey 3, Victor Golf Oscar.
Delta Whiskey 3 Victor Golf Oscar.
All right. We'll take these last two and then call it a night. The Mike 8 station, Mike 8 Kilo Hotel India, I believe it was. We don't have your information on the when we pull up your call sign, but the station with Mike 8, you can go ahead right now and answer the question. Do you monitor your local emergency frequencies? I believe you said you were from England, and one of the gentlemen previously said there was no really emergency network in England, so I'm just going to ask you what you do.
Good evening to everybody out there. Mike 8 Kilo Hotel India. Right. We can't really listen to the emergency frequencies as such. Good question. Sorry about this. Because they're all encrypted. The police or fire or ambulance, they're all encrypted. The only thing we can listen to really is the maritime service, which is on 156 treble Z, and that's Mersey DCS, maritime through Holyhead Coast Guard. So I hope that helps you on that question, sir. Over.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate that. And the last person tonight for the net, we've got Manuel out in the Philippines. DW3 EGO, Manuel. Thanks for checking into the open mic net tonight. And the question of the night for you: do you monitor your local emergency frequencies? Manuel, it's up to you.
Roger that. Jan, Kilo 4, Juliet Kilo. DW3 Manuel from Zambales, Philippines. Yes, I do monitor the local emergency stations here in our remote town. And just joining the net and listening by 733 and God bless. Thank you for pulling me out. DW3 video clear.
Well, thanks for checking in and have a great morning. I know it's Thursday morning there for you, so have a great morning. All right, well, that's it for the open mic net tonight. This is KK4JJK John. I'd like to thank Norm, NY1US, who had the first half hour, and also Jason, K4KU, and Mark, KE2EDS, for doing all the hard work on the net tonight. That's all for tonight. I'd like to say 73 to all. This is KK4JJK, returning the repeaters back to normal amateur use. 73 all.